Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Onte, and welcome to the Alpha Talk podcast. Today, I have two amazing topics that I want to jump into. The number one topic that I have today is a topic that really relates to me in a good way and also in a bad way because I've been through it a lot and I understand like how people feel about it and how people have been going through it and just my experience and just by like watching things and watching people in the streets and stuff like that. I have a couple of advice and I have some things I just want to get off my chest about it. So, in today's episode, we have two topics for you guys that don't know. You can follow me on all my social medias. All my social medias have my link to my link tree. You can find every single thing there. You can find my podcast on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, the whole 9 yards. It's on every single thing. So if you want to check that out, I also have the link in the description of this live and also in the YouTube video that will be coming out tomorrow. But let's go ahead and jump to today's episode. We are on episode 44. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we're going to go ahead and jump into this thing. So the first topic that I have for today's episode is specifically talking about relationships. Now, I used to always bring this up in previous episodes. Sometimes I might talk about it here and there. Sometimes I might talk about it just like completely just bring it up and then not talk about it no more. But specifically about this episode, we're going to talk about relationships. And the reason why I want to talk about this whole topic about relationships is because I've been through a lot of previous relationships that have been pretty terrible and not really healthy with my own lifestyle, just with myself in general. And I've seen people and I've heard stories about other people going through the same traumatic thing, and like it's not okay. And a lot of people don't understand relationships, and I think it's cool that people like myself can give you some type of advice on like how to improve your relationship and try to improve yourself or and even improve your relationship together. But for me, honestly, like growing up in high school and stuff, a lot of us, you know what I'm saying, most of the time in high school, we've either dated somebody or we've dated multiple people. So like throughout high school, I've never got that chance to just be solo dolo for a while. Like I've always told, like my stepmom has always told me, like since I was in high school, I've never been able to like just to be by myself. Like every year, like I'm either dating a new girl or I'm just doing something with a girl. I mean, obviously, yeah, we're in high school, so it's a lot different. But it's just like it leads up to being grown now. Like a lot of people just don't realize that like your past can always bring back up into the future, but you're never supposed to think about your past. But like I'm saying, it's just me giving you guys advice about my experience. And so like understanding that like not giving yourself that time and break to get yourself together, and like as soon as you most nowadays, like not even in high school, but like nowadays, like the age that we are and the times that we are now, everybody that you see, like most people when they get together with a girl, like they go on a date and then the next couple of days after that, or like a week or so, maybe not even a week, maybe like we're gonna say like maybe like 2 months, maybe 3 months into the whole like talking phase. Like in my opinion, I feel like if you're gonna try to be in a relationship with someone, that you should have a long talking period. Cause it's like, how in the world are you gonna be in a relationship with somebody, but like you've only been talking to them for like 2 months, 3 months? Like that's not enough time to understand each other. And most people nowadays, they like to hurry up and move in with each other, but it's like you haven't gave your time to like how you gonna understand each other and then try to live with each other. Like that doesn't even mix into each other at all. Like it doesn't. So basically what I'm trying to say is like the time range between like the talking range and the time range between like just to like get to know each other should be at least like 3 months to 4 months, maybe even 6 months. Most people I know probably have even gone longer, like 8 months, maybe even a year. So like you just gotta put in the work. Like you can't always jump things to conclusion. Like this generation, and even myself, or even like my past self, like even people I know, like everybody I know has jumped to conclusion. Like they've been in relationships for maybe like 6 months, maybe just not finally hitting a year, and like things are just crumbling. Like things aren't going so well for them. Like it's just not looking good because like humans, we need to understand each other. Like you can't just like get with somebody and then try to live with them or even try to be with them 24/7 of the day for this long of a period, because most people aren't even ready for that. Most people just want to live this single life, just chilling, mind them business. But most people don't understand, like, you gotta put in that time, you gotta put in the effort, and understand, like, yeah, it's gonna take a couple months for me to like realize that I'm gonna have to be in a talking phase for a while, and I'm not gonna be able to just sit here and like jump in and be like, hey, what's up? Right after we go for dinner, maybe a month from now, maybe like 2 months from now, we're just chilling every single day. And now, if most guys will just sit there and pop the question and realize, like, either it's you or it could be the girl. Like, either or. Like, yeah, it's okay. The point in time and with each other is, like, cool. Like, y'all are connecting. Y'all are feeling good and stuff like that. Like, that's cool. But, like, at the end of the day, it's like, you got to put in the time and the effort to get the reward at the end of the day. You don't want to sit here and get the girl that you've always been wanting and then realize that, like, okay, cool. Since we've been hanging out so much, I'm just going to go ahead and ask her out. But, like, nah, that just messes up things because it's like most people just don't want to be locked down that quickly. Like, they want to be able to put a connection with you and put a connection with each other. But most people aren't ready for that. And most people don't even want to do anything about that. And it's pretty much not good because, like I said, it's just like it's a trail of the same thing over and over and over again. I talk about it all the time in previous episodes. Like, it's just a trail of just nonsense. Like, if you've been dating somebody, or if you always been in toxic relationships since you were younger, or if you started just being in toxic relationships, then maybe you gotta check yourself. Maybe it's not even the girl; it's just yourself. And most people don't want to check themselves. Like, most people just want to, like, okay, bet, like, cool. Most girls nowadays, they'll be like, okay, bet, cool. We break up. Next couple weeks, maybe a month, they with somebody else. So it's like, how you gonna go from this person and then this next person in a whole like month of a time range? Like, most girls do that. Like, you know how most people, when you go on social media, you see people you grew up with. And they're like, okay, wait a minute. On your social media, I just seen you dating this one person. But then the next day or next couple weeks or maybe even a month, you're like, weren't you just with that other person like the other month ago? So it's just like people don't give themselves the opportunity just to be alone. Like, just to get themselves together. Everybody's so used to jumping to the next person and jump to the next person because most people have the phobia of not being alone, and most people don't like being alone, and they don't want to be alone at all. They want to be touchy, feely, and be like with people all the time. Like, I can't remember the abbreviations for it, but like most people just always want to be around somebody. Somebody always wants to be in a relationship, don't want to take the time because, you know, you can be influenced by a lot of things. Maybe if you could be your parents, always seeing your parents, maybe like going through certain things. Maybe it's like you had a hit trail of stuff that you've done before. You've always jumped from girl to girl to girl. But then sooner or later, it's like most people our age now wants to be locked down. Most people don't want to be locked down. Most people still want to be single. So it's like you got to understand the point of when is it okay for you to say no to certain things and say yes to certain things, because most people just don't pay attention to that. Like, a lot of guys, and especially the men out there, a lot of guys, they like to jump the gun so quickly. Like, as soon as they meet a girl on a dating app or meet a girl in person, like they get their number or something like that. Okay, cool, bet they're in their phone. They're playing it right. They're playing the ball safe. Like, they're just playing it right. There's no issues. They playing that shit right. And they're like talking to them. They set the date up. Cool. They go on the date. And then after that, it's kind of like they're feeling each other, and then it's like sooner or later, either the guy or the girl is gonna end up jumping the gun and asking them to be in a relationship. But it's like, damn, we just started. Like, I just met you. Like, we just went on a couple dates. Like, when can we like have like deep conversations or understand like your family history, like understand like where you come from or like what's your hobbies and stuff like that before you even jump the gun. Like, and a lot of people don't do that, and they expect the relationship to be like that, and it's like, it's not going to be like that, because how do you expect me to be in a relationship with you if I can't understand who you are first? Like, how can I trust you? How do I know, like, you're not trying to set me up? Like, how do I know, like, you're not just trying to use me? Or how can I, like, you know, it's certain principles. And the women, a lot of women out there, like, they just be so into the guy. Like, they're getting, you know what I'm saying, getting faked out by, like, the guy, like, talking about this or the guy doing this. But, like, at the end of the day, that guy's not doing nothing, or that girl, she's not really living the life that she's talking about. And a lot of people get sucked into that, like, that stupid nonsense of blah 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 blah, like I'm that person, or blah 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 blah, like I'm the one for you. But it's like, if you're not putting in the time and the work, or you're not putting in the effort, you can't, how do you expect that person to trust you or respect you? You know what I mean? Like, having those deep conversations and having those very communicative conversations and being very fluent with each other and being real and not being shady about anything. Maybe one day, before, as y'all in the process of talking, maybe I need to go out one day and get super drunk and just have a fucking conversation about the most random thing, because you're drunk, so you're gonna have a conversation about anything. Like, that's like the time that you put into work to understand each other. Like, it's gonna take some time, but like, people that need to understand, like, you just can't always jump the gun and be like, yeah, I got this baddie in my hands, but now it's time for me to lock her up. Maybe she don't want to be locked up just yet, you know. Maybe she just want to work out the kinks, you know what I'm saying, figure out who she is. Maybe she just, you know what I'm saying, like, it takes time. Like, same thing for the women out there. Like, most women out here, they want to get with somebody and be on that Instagram lifestyle, or be with somebody and be on that celebrity lifestyle. Like, they just always want to be with somebody and feel like if they're not with somebody, then they're just going to be either alone, or if they're not with somebody, then they can't respect themselves because they have to be with somebody. Or, I don't know. It's just a whole mix of, like, just stupid nonsense, and people don't want to take the time to, like, learn. Like, how many times did it take you to take a test in school? You have to study for it. So why not study and learn that person and put in the work, so you can make your relationship the best thing ever? And you never know. That person could be your future wife. That person could be your future. I'm not gonna say baby mama, because don't nobody want baby mamas nowadays. But you know what I'm saying. Like, it could be the person of your dreams. Like, and a lot of people out here are naturally just toxic people. Like, how many people do you know have been in relationships and have been very, very extremely toxic? Like, you know them as a whole person, or you see them behind closed doors, or you see how they act in person. Like, people don't even spot the toxicness in people. That they just, like, you know what I'm saying, they look at the looks, they look at the body, like, they look at all this stuff, and like, that person doesn't realize, like, or they look at the materialistic stuff, or like what they're driving, how much money they make. They don't really care about, like, what their mindset is, nothing like that. Like, they're just toxic. Like, they're just trifling and then toxic. Like, that's just how a lot of people are, and a lot of people get sucked in to combining that. And like, you could be an average guy, you could be a cool guy, you could be a hustler, you could be a cool common collect, you could be an average girl, you could be a chill girl, whatever. Like, you could be non-toxic person. Like, you've been on your shit, you've been working yourself, and like, let's say you do meet this cool person, like, and you just like them a lot. Like, you gotta be able to spot the toxicness in people, because it's like, at the same time, it's like, you can't put a rotten orange next to another orange, because eventually they're gonna get rotten together, because this is how it works. Like, it's just the natural thing of life. Like, if you know somebody deep down in your heart that you're talking to, or you're talking to them, you just met them, or like, you in the process of trying to get them, maybe y'all have slept together, maybe y'all done anything, but like, if you just spot these certain things about that person, man, then you should definitely just shut it down. Like, don't sit there and put in your time and your energy into somebody who's not going to do the same thing as you, because that person could be toxic. And then what's going to happen once you get with a toxic person? They're going to suck all of the energy that you have out of you, because that's just how they are. They can be narcissists, they can be the whole 9 yards. Like, it can be extremely terrible. It can get violent, it can get physical, it can do the whole things. That's why it's best for you to understand that you have to protect yourself by understanding that, like, yeah, I want to be in a relationship, and I don't want to be single. For the people who are, I'm not talking about for the people who are single. The people who are single, shout out to you, do your thing like that. But like, the people who are trying to be in a relationships, these are like the advice for you guys. Like, understand, like, yeah, I'm ready, but like, I gotta be able to protect myself at the same time. So understand that at the end of the day, you have red flags. Everybody has red flags. Naturally, you have red flags. In your personal life, you have red flags, even in relationships. So understand that you need to break down your red flags before you even pursue this with a person. Like, you got to understand, like, okay, but I'm talking to this person. I need to tell this person, like, look, bro, at the end of the day, I have these red flags. If you cross these red flags, either it's going to be a warning, or you're just going to shut it off. Whatever works for you, in your personal opinion. But like, never in your life you should let somebody cross your red lines. Like, at all. Like, you have your boundaries and you need to respect that. At the end of the day, you're not gonna get with me and just kind of do me over or mess me over. Like, you have boundaries, you need to set them and let them understand that these are my boundaries and you're not gonna mess them up. We're gonna do it this way, or you're gonna catch the highway. Like, simple as that. But at the end of the day, you gotta be reasonable. Like, yes, your personal self, you have your own red flags, but at the end of the day, being in a relationship, you do realize now you have to compromise yourself and be willing to do certain things that this person does want to do. Maybe you don't want to do it, but you still got to enjoy it. Like, maybe you don't like this person, you like this person a lot, but there's maybe they got like maybe one or two flaws that kind of bother you. But at the end of the day, it's like you're gonna put in the work and time for this person because you think either they cute, they handsome, they look good, but they are nice, like they cool with you. But maybe they got a little few flaws on them. But you're willing to understand that I'm gonna put in the work with this dude or with this woman and make them a better person. Because at the end of the day, in being in a relationship, you got to be able to uplift each other so your relationship can be the most fantastic thing that you've ever experienced in your life. Like, that's the whole concept of being in relationships, and people don't know that that's the whole thing. Like, this is no, once you make that commitment, I feel like it's the same thing as you getting married. Like, once you make that commitment, you got to be stuck with that commitment. Like, it is what it is. Like, there's a lot of cheaters out here, there's a lot of liars. I've had my experience with cheating and lying. Like, I know how it feels. Like, I know how it feels to be in a toxic relationship and things getting physical and, what I'm saying, like, getting kicked out. Like, I know the whole nine. Like, not having things for yourself as a man and, like, not having things for yourself as a woman and relying on one person and the whole entire relationship. Like, that shit sucks, man. And it's the most craziest thing ever, because once that person has that power over you, it's like they don't understand, like, how to regulate the power. Like, yeah, okay, bet I'm taking care of you, but it's like, how can I take care of you also? Like, you got to work together. Like, it's a team effort. That's why I'm very big on, like, communication. It doesn't matter if you're in a relationship, it doesn't matter if you're single, if you're talking to people, whatever. Like, being able to talk to people and being able to use your words and communicate with people is 100% better than trying to sit there and sit through messages on your phone. That's why I encourage a lot of guys, if you're trying to be in a relationship, you need to understand that I need to build up my confidence and build up my ability to talk to anybody on the streets and able to go get their number so I can go get me some dates and maybe I can get into a relationship. Or same thing for the women. Like, the women out there are already bold. A lot of women out there have already talked to or still deal with day-to-day dudes on a daily basis. So it's like, how can you be better than this next person? Like, that's how it is for us men. Like, a lot of women don't understand that a lot of men, we really have to put in a lot of work to get this girl. Like, yeah, the girls, you got to do this and that. Women can do this and that. But, like, men, like, it takes a lot. Shit. Most guys don't even talk to a lot of people like that. Like, women, I know for a fact, like, there's a lot of dudes in and out of their conversations every day, like, in their phone, through the messages. Like, I know how it is, but, like, it's like, you got to be able to do what you got to do to get the relationship or that you want and thrive, and hopefully it gets to the point to where it's just the best thing if you ever experienced. So yeah, that's what I have about the whole relationship thing. But, like, yeah, it can get really intense, and that's why a lot of people, you see a lot of relationships going to, like, therapy and stuff like that, because it's like, where did we mess up in the mix of trying to get to know each other? Like, especially, like, I can only imagine how the people out there that's been dating since, like the people or people you went to school with that have been dating since high school, like, and more than likely have kids now. Like, that's the most, shout out to you, man. Shout out to you guys, because, like, that's unbelievable. Like, what, what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. So, I mean, that's what I have about that, man. And that was the first topic for episode 44. And, like, I feel like that topic, man, is just a topic that everybody needs to hear, and everybody needs to, like, fluently understand, like, the whole point of being with someone. Not, like, taking their time and energy, not, like, breaking them down to the point to where they just can't take anything else. They're sad every day. Like, if there's a person that you know that you like, and you just feel like something's wrong with them, or you feel like they're just not there yet, man, you should not push it on them. You should not do anything. Like, give that person the time and the space to get themselves together, and then maybe if they want to get back with you later down the road, then cool, yeah. But, like, for the people out there, man, if there's somebody that you extremely like, and there's somebody out there that you want to talk to, there's somebody out there that you want to be in a relationship with, and they're just not ready yet, you got to be able to respect that and walk away. You got to be able to understand, like, there's more fish in the sea, I got to move on. Maybe if they're ready, then they're going to eventually come back to you. But if they're not ready, then they're just not ready. And a lot of people need to respect that, and respect that getting yourself together and getting yourself right before trying to be in a relationship with somebody else who's still not right. Also, that's not going to get mixed together, because you guys still have your own issues in life and your own problems in life, and you can't mix two problems together. It isn't going to make it right. I don't know if that makes sense. I just made it up in the head. But yeah, you guys get what I'm saying. And like, it's just something that I feel like everybody should know, and somebody should out there eventually will hear this and understand, like, I got to get myself together, and I got to respect other people and respect my boundaries and respect other people's boundaries before I can try to pursue something. But that's pretty much all I got for the first topic. For the second topic that we have for today's episode is a topic that really hits home with me. Pretty much all the topics I talk about on my on my podcast, hits home with me. Like, that's why I talk to you with you guys. That's why I bring it up, and that's why I talk about it. Like, all these topics that I talk about ever on my podcast are topics that extremely mean something a lot to me, and a lot of people out there respect it. So this second topic is being a underdog. And like, for the people out there, man, in the underdog world, the underdog just saying, like, it's just say, like, how when you're playing sports, like, there's always going to be that team, there's always going to be that person, like, to be like, oh, he's an underdog, like, ain't nothing gonna happen for him, or ain't nothing's gonna move for him. And like, just knowing, like, you're just that underdog, and like, knowing, like, you're not up there with everybody else, and knowing, like, you're just not at that point in life or at that point in time where you need to be at, but everybody else is. And knowing that you're just that underdog, like, knowing that, like, you over here, getting mad at yourself because you don't know things that other people know, or like, knowing that, like, I didn't go to school for this, I didn't do anything with this, like, I'm just out here, being the underdog and getting it out the mud. I am one of those people, and I am here to say, like, for the people out there, man, who's been out here grinding it, no matter what your career is, like, it can be entrepreneurship, it can be YouTube, it can be Instagram model, it can be even your day-to-day job at a 9-to-5 job. It doesn't matter. Whatever your extreme goal is or your career is, man, like, a lot of us out here did not get the opportunities that, like, other people did. So it sucks, man, when we out here seeing people that we grew up with, or seeing people that, like, we see in the streets before, but, like, we don't talk to them no more, and you just see, like, their success compared to yours. Like, being that underdog, seeing stuff like that, sometimes it gets you to the point to where it's just like you want to give up. But, like, there's no point in time for the underdog to give up. Like, you giving up is just like a slap in the face to everybody else. Nobody else is going to believe you unless you believe in yourself. And, like, understanding, like, I don't have these opportunities like everybody else. Like, I didn't get it. I didn't do this. I haven't learned this. And knowing that, like, I got to spend that time and spend that couple hours throughout my day, or even all day, to study this, to make sure my business is better, or I got to study this to make my perfection better. And knowing that, like, I got to put in that time and got to put in that work way harder than everybody else, or way harder than anybody else, is probably one of the best feelings ever, because it's like, everybody that looks up to, everybody that looks down on you will be super, super surprised. And a lot of people who are underdogs, and a lot of people who just move differently, a lot of people who don't have it like everybody else, a lot of people actually look up to the underdogs more than they look up to people who's already up there and doing successful with themselves. And, like, it sucks, but it feels good at the end of the day, knowing that, like, I'm actually putting in time, and, like, things are going to be harder for me, but once I actually get to the point to where that person is, or once I get to the point to where it's like, I'm comfortable with myself and I'm not feeling bad, or I'm not feeling anything, like, no guilt, nothing like that. Like, my conscience is good, everything's cool. Like, once I get to that point, and it's knowing that I put in that time and put in that extremely, extremely hard work, then, like, knowing that once I get to that other point, that over across the bridge on the other side, man, it's like nothing else is going to be able to come in my way. I'm just going to be a straight bulldozer and pushing through anything and everything that comes and tries to bust through me. So it's like, a lot of people and a lot of us don't have that confidence to take that leap of faith to do something. It doesn't matter. Like I said, any career, a lot of us don't have that enough. We don't have we have a lot of us humans. We have so much pride that we don't understand that sometimes we gotta take that pride, take that shield down just for a minute, and understand that like I need to start doing this and I need to start doing that to build up certain things for me to make a better life for myself or make a better decision. That decision makings that a lot of us make, like a lot of us aren't there yet, and we can be there, but it's like doing things that know that I'm going to be uncomfortable with, or doing things that like I know for a fact that other people have done, but like it's hard for me to understand how they got there, or it's hard for me to understand that how did they learn this or that and that. Like I really got to do the intensive research, or you got to do the intensive research to know that, okay, bet. Maybe I do gotta take out a pen and paper and actually write this down. Maybe it's gonna take me a couple hours to open up a book and actually read, or maybe it's gonna take me some time to watch some YouTube videos and understand how to edit a video or make my business better or make better posts and stuff like that. Like it's okay. All the hard work that's gonna be put in now is gonna eventually be a golden treasure at the end of the rainbow. That's how I put it. So it's like you gotta put in the work to get the best work out of anything. So shout out to all the underdogs out there, and shout out to all the people who's been busting their butt all day and all night, every year, having these weird thoughts. And I understand that, man. I understand that every single moment of my life, like having these moments where you're just like, man, like, am I eventually gonna get there, or are things are just gonna go bad? Like, having these thoughts though, man, it's just not giving up and understanding like I'm gonna keep in progressing and keep getting myself better each and every single day, and not quitting is 100% better than someone who got it easily and actually is not putting in the work because they know that I got this and I got this and that, and nobody can't tell me nothing. So I'm not gonna do it no more because I've already made it. But like once you start from the bottom and you gotta make yourself go up, like that whole mindset is gonna go out the window. The whole mindset of not like doing things and all that stuff, like nah, you know for a fact that I gotta handle this. You know for a fact that I gotta do this to maintain this, because we know how it feels to be at the bottom. We know how it feels to be talked about. We know how it feels to be shamed on. Like we know all that stuff. Like how it feels. And I know for a fact nobody out there wants to live this same day-to-day life every single day. Nobody wants to live their same life that they don't like. Like everybody wants to improve, but it's like sooner or later you got to be able to, understand that I got to improve. It doesn't matter. Any career that you're doing, like it could be a job, it could be whatever, like anything that you're doing needs to improve and become extremely, extremely better than it was a couple months ago or maybe a year ago. Like setting goals, setting yourself up for greatness and setting yourself up to be better than it was yesterday is going to help you to be the best underdog that you can be, And it sucks to say that I have to say being an underdog, because I don't know, it sucks that I have to say that, but like that's probably the best word that I can use for people who just know that they are able to make it, but like they're just scared, they're uncomfortable, they're just not knowing that they're capable of doing things that they've never done before, because they've never seen it before, they've never done it before, they've never shoot the shot for their dreams like that, they never accomplished goals like that, they've never done anything like that. So it's a bumpy road and it's a scary road. A lot of people, like I said, we have so much pride, we don't want to break down the shield to take that leap of faith, to take the next step in our life, to do things that we've never done before. So a lot of us we're stubborn, we're human beings at the end of the day, but eventually we got to put the pride to the side and realize like, okay, cool, I need to take in some advice, I need to learn this, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to stop postponing things, I need to stop being lazy, I need to stop doing that. Like, because if you want to be up there with everybody else, you got to put in the time, you got to put in the effort, and it's going to be harder for you, and it's going to, at the end of the day, like I said, it's going to be best. So that's just how it is, and I gave it out to you point blank and period. And all the two topics that I talked today, I only have two topics for today's episode, because these two topics are literally home run derby hits out of the park, because these two are topics that I probably truly like, or have experienced probably a lot worse than anybody else, in my opinion. A lot of people have been in relationships, and a lot of people have been through some crazy stuff, but that's your story, and everybody has their own story. Alright, that's why I say every single day, everybody has their own story. What exactly is going to be your story, and what exactly is going to be your definition of being great, or whatever it is in whatever career you're doing. How are you going to do it, and how are you going to improve by it? Because at the end of the day, we all put on the same pants, and we all live. No, we all don't live the same life. But at the end of the day, we all go to sleep and we all wake up and we all got to put on pants the same way as everybody else. So it's like, how can you do better than that next person? Simple as that. So that's all I have for you guys in episode 44. Thank you so much for everybody that tuned in. Man, if you are watching right now, or if you are going to be watching this once the live is over, please make sure you leave a comment, you like and share for your boy. I really greatly appreciate it. It will help my podcast out a lot. Thank you everybody that's watching on YouTube. I greatly appreciate everybody on YouTube. Your boy's at 50 subscribers, and I'm not even on episode 50 yet. So I greatly appreciate everybody on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and you like and you share. We're doing numbers. We're doing great. I'm feeling good and I'm pretty tired, but I'm out here doing what I got to do for you guys. I love you guys so much. I'll see you guys next week in episode 45. It's your boy Onte, and I'm out, and y'all have a blessed night.